Iranians taking to the streets, protesting for the 10th day in a row over a young Kurdish woman, Mahsa Amini, because she violated the regime's rules on the hijab. More than 40 people have died since these protests began. Iranian authorities have said there needs to be a decisive action taken without any leniency. These are the same people that Obama and his people in the Biden administration want to rule the Middle East. Joining me now is former congressional candidate and executive director of Iranian Americans for Liberty, Brian Leib. Also with us is the Senate chairman of the National Iranian Congress, Emirfkhrآور. Gentlemen, welcome to you both. This question is going to be to both of you. Brian, you first. Why has this incident so galvanized the Iranian people?
Well, first of all, Chris, let me say thank you to you and to Newzmax for covering this every single day. You guys have been absolutely fantastic, helping to lift up the voices of Iranians inside of Iran. What I think is happening right now is not just an uprising, not just protest, but I think we're seeing an actual revolution that is happening right now. Widespread support of men and women, Iranian men and women, that are standing shoulder to shoulder with each other to bravely take to the streets and chant for the death to the dictator, because I think they've really had enough. I mean, how many more innocent women have to die inside of the Islamic Republic of Iran for wanting basic human rights before people really start standing up in a meaningful way? So I think that's why it's different. And again, I think this is a revolution that we're seeing, and I hope it happens. The Iranian people deserve to be free.
Amir, why do you think the Obama-Biden administration want the totalitarians in Iran to rule the Middle East, given that they're the #1 state sponsor of terrorism and also they're habitual human rights abusers?
Thank you for having me first, and let me say thank you to Brian for call it what it is. It is a revolution, definitely a revolution. But regarding the Obama-Biden administration, I don't think they even realized what is happening. I don't think if they know what is the differences between a terrorist and a normal human being, because last time I checked, Robert Malley, the Iran envoy at the Biden administration, he thinks the terrorists, they do have just some other type of different views of the life. That's not true. But let me go back to the revolution that's happening in Iran right now. I would like to call it, among a lot of Iranian young kids in the street, the constitutional revolution in Iran. The slogan of this revolution, look, what is it? It's life, liberty, woman. Woman in this slogan means equality. Equality of all Iranians. Because in Islam, in Islamic law, the woman is not a normal human being. The women are just some type of animals with the skin of human to can calm down the man's. That's the definition of woman in Islam, the type of Islam which is ruling Iran right now for last 43 years. That's the reason you can see millions of young Iranian girls among their boyfriends, their brothers, their fathers and mothers. They are in the street in more than 400 cities. Can you believe that? All over the country.
Oh, no. I just wish that America was poised with a freedom-loving administration to actually give them all the help they deserve and need. Brian, let me pivot back to you. How would you evaluate Team Biden's actions and their reaction to the killing of this woman?
Put out a couple tweets, Chris. They put out a couple strongly worded statements. But at the end of the day, you know, if they continue to negotiate with the regime in Tehran, the statements and the tweets don't mean anything. As we've talked about many times before on this program, President Biden and his team seem to be a little bit more interested in doing whatever they can to appease these mullahs in Tehran instead of actually doing something tangibly to cut them off. And when I say tangibly, yeah, the statements are great. Sure, they're in the 24-hour news cycle and they're gone the next day. If the Biden administration actually cared about what was happening right now, they would say no more diplomacy with Tehran. They would say no sanctions relief. And they would say no new nuclear deal. That's what they would do. But unfortunately, Chris, I don't think they're going to do that. But if they cared about the Iranian people, that's what they would do.
Yeah, Amir, I only have about 30 seconds left. What do you think the Biden administration, being heavily influenced by Barack Obama, what do you think they should do? Not what they are doing. What do you think they should do?
They should stop the negotiation with the crazy killer mullahs first, and not just them. All the countries around the world, specifically the Europeans, they should stop recognizing this regime. If they are recognizing Taliban in Afghanistan as a normal regime, they can recognize the Iranian mullahs, which is a lot the same as mullahs in Afghanistan. But you know what? It should not be any relationship, the diplomatic or whatever, with this mullahs regime anymore, because they are killing the people in the street. It's the people's revolution right now. U.S. should be the first country to recognize this revolution and just close the tie totally with this regime and ask all the U.S. allies to do the same. Thank you.
Brian Leib and Emirfkhrآور, thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate your time here on the Chris Salcedo Show. Coming